Welcome to episode 65 of the Relationship Marketing Podcast with Cody B. Today's guest is Jimmi Bradbury. Jimmi Bradbury is an executive coach from Brisbane, Australia, and the founder of Young Entrepreneurs Academy. For the last 30 years, he has lived and worked around the world in great places like New York, Los Angeles, Australia, Hong Kong, Manila, India, Dubai, and London. Today, Jimmi loves to share his story, advice, and life experiences with others and make a difference. His core values in life are gratitude, respect, honesty, commitment, and joy. Giving back and contributing to worthy causes in the community, together with serving and inspiring people, brings him happiness and fulfillment. This is his why. He always says in life that if you join the dots, you will find there is a better way to live the life you imagine. Through his International Executive Academy, he helps professionals transition online their knowledge, life experiences, and expertise to earn multiple streams of income so that they can have more time and financial freedom. Through Young Entrepreneurs Academy, he helps parents to understand how to best support their children and the young generation generally with the necessary life skills and mindset needed in a rapidly changing world today, so that they can lean into who they really are and live a life of happiness and fulfillment. He calls this the life you imagine. And now, Cody B.
Hello, everybody. This is Cody Bateman. Welcome to a brand new episode of our Relationship Marketing Podcast. Super excited for the guest we have on today. Prior to bringing him on, though, just want to shout out to all of our listeners. I appreciate all that you're doing out there to make the world a better place. We're teaching people to be kinder and more gentle, and it's especially needed in today's world. It's really important to be nice to people, and that's what we're all about. Relationship marketing is all about the first word, way more than the second. It's about creating genuine relationships with others, and we have guests on every week that talk about the importance of relationships for the sake of relationships. And the marketing side of things have a tendency to take care of themselves when you create genuine relationships, service-oriented relationship with other people. It's what this show is all about. It's about acting on your promptings to reach out in kindness in your personal life and in your business. Most of you who tune in every single week are helping us in that cause and sharing that message with other people throughout the world, and we appreciate that. Let's jump right in. Let's get into this session today. Boy, we got an exciting guy on here today, Mr. Jimmi Bradbury, executive coach from Brisbane, Australia. Jimmi, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well. Thank you very much, Cody.
So I know we're recording very early in the morning over there. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning where you're at, right?
It is 6 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning.
Well, we appreciate you getting up so early and being a part of this. So, Jimmi, you know, you've done some really neat things out there, and what I like to jump into is just talk about, you know, first of all, you stand for some really great things, especially in today's world, and it seems like I don't want this to be, you know, such an obvious thing, you know, touche or whatever, to talk about these values, because everybody talks about these values, but you live them. I mean, I've had a chance to see some of your work. I've reviewed your website. I've seen some of the online stuff that you're doing. Super impressed, but you build everything around standard values, and you really talk a lot about that. Gratitude, respect, honesty, commitment, and joy. Those are key words for you. I want to repeat that. Gratitude, respect, honesty, commitment, and joy. And it's interesting to me that you make it a point to bring those words out as key values in everything you do. So tell us why those words?
Well, first of all, may I, before I start, I just want to acknowledge you for the great work that you're doing, Cody. It's just phenomenal. And what you've done so far with your business, and also the brilliant book. I've just finished your book, The Power of the Human Connection. It's just a fantastic book. So well done. I just want to acknowledge that first. You know, for me, in terms of values, for me, it's quite simple. I think today we see so many people striving for success, they want to strive for happiness, they strive for fulfillment. But the one thing that I believe is missing is alignment. Their alignment with their success or what they're striving for is not congruent with what their values are. And I think that's the bit that's so important for me. And if you can get that alignment with your values in what you do, it just automatically makes you so much happier and fulfilled in what you do. And I think that is why it's so important for me, the alignment part.
So let's talk about how you do that. Let's first of all, you are the founder of Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and you teach principles in online courses and teach others how to bring their skills into online courses and other type of courses. And by the way, kudos to you for the work that you're doing. It's like you take genius that's in a human soul and you help them pull it out and put them into a format to where it blesses other people's lives. And you've really committed your life to that. And so again, kudos to you for doing that work and helping so many people along the way. But let's talk about you. So you do an online course. You teach others how to do online courses, workshops, different things like that, bringing genius out of yourself and teaching it to the world and helping others do the same. So let's talk about what you do, this alignment thing. So you actually really have dialed in what your core values are: gratitude, respect, honesty, commitment, and joy. So how do you mesh, or how do you do that alignment of those words, those values, into what you do every day?
Okay, so if we just take one of them, gratitude. Like I get up every morning at 5 o'clock, so I got up over an hour ago. And the first thing I do is just be grateful for the day, grateful to be alive, particularly in what we're going through at the moment, but every day, just being totally grateful for being alive. Because for many years, I lived in the corporate world, and I lived in places in the world like Manila and Mumbai, where I was building businesses there in the corporate world. And I saw people that were living on $1 a day. And they were really happy. Like, I don't think people can really get it until they see what it looks like to live on $1 a day. And these were people that were living in maybe 1 room, 2 rooms, and you had 3 generations in 1 room, 7 and 8 people, and they were living on $1 a day. And I'm just so grateful that I've got sheets on the bed, that I'm alive, that I'm healthy, that I'm living in this, for me, the greatest time ever to be alive. It's just the most phenomenal time. There's so much out there that we can do and we can help. When you begin with gratitude, I think you've really got your roots set in your day or your week or your month, your year, whatever. And then for me, it's about, and this for me coming out of the corporate world was a huge thing. And I know you touch on it on your book, which is brilliant, is that mindset shift that we have to have. That real happiness and fulfillment in life comes from helping and serving other people and building those relationships. And when you actually see it as one of service rather than how much money can I make, how much material wealth can I gain, then, for me, that becomes, well, like how can I now help Cody have his best podcast ever? Living with that intention and really working hard on it every single day is so important for me, because I think so many people, unfortunately, just go through life with these wonderful talents. And that's what I help them try and find. But a lot of people go through life and they don't find these talents, and then they don't live with intention. And I think if you do live with gratitude and you live with intention and you live with wanting to serve and help other people, it just becomes so much more fulfilling and happier. It makes you a happier person.
Really good stuff. So let's talk. So you talked gratitude quite a bit. Let's talk respect. Respect is a big, big word today, so important. And we seem to live in a day and age where it's kind of absent. That whole respect thing is kind of absent in a lot of places today. And I don't want to go into why that is. I just want to go into, how do we headline respect as a value for people? I mean, I think that's important to discuss.
Well, for me, it's about understanding that relationship that you have with our fellow human beings. And you try and look at the world from where they might see it and be able to show respect for them. Because I think there's so much judgment that's going on, particularly now at the moment. But there's so much judgment that we do of our fellow human beings rather than have the respect and understanding and compassion and empathy for them, because everybody's coming from a different place in life. And I think you have to dial into that. And once you dial into that, then I think it becomes a lot easier to show respect for people rather than jumping in and making judgment, but actually without knowing what's going on behind them.
Now, isn't that the key? I mean, we talk a lot on this show about bringing the human race together. We talk a lot about that in the book, bringing the human race together. And what you just said, I mean, isn't that that's a core fundamental to bringing the human race together is this respect thing, you know, coming from a place of respect of whoever you're in relationship with or in dialogue with, you know, to come from a place of respect. And today's day and age with social media and people commenting all the time and stuff, it just seems like it's lack of respect. It's like, look, I'm going to push my agenda and my mindset on you no matter what it takes. And with social media, it just you know, escalates that so big that we seem to lose this concept of being respectful of where other people are coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it goes back to education so that they understand, like that educating, you know, a lot of people I think are judgmental because they're not educated and they don't understand the situation. And I think that's what's happening with people just getting out on social media and just going for it without really understanding the situation. And I think it goes back to, and this is one of the big parts of my Young Entrepreneurs Academy, it goes back to, you know, this is a really important life skill that unfortunately the education system do not teach the kids. And it goes back to those fundamental life skills of respect, compassion, empathy, communication in the proper way that I believe, you know, for me is so important in the academy. But that needs to go back to what the kids learn in school today and not be measured upon what I consider to be an outdated scorecard, still with the education system, which is academically focused, rather than getting into these more important things that make the young person a more holistic individual, ready for life, rather than academically measured. But that's a big topic for my academy.
I'm sitting there thinking, well, I could go so many places with that right now. It is a big topic, and I'd love to have it with you at some point, because it is, you know, it's really important. You know, you have a platform, you have a way that you can go out and teach people how to bring. Listen, people have their own genius in them. They have their own message in them. They stand for certain things. And that's great. As long as what you're standing for doesn't hurt another human being, there's a reason that you stand for it. I mean, you're passionate about it. But what I noticed today is that a lot of people in that passion try to bulldoze their message over people instead of being empathetic when they come into the conversation, if that makes sense.
Well, part of it has to do with the fact that I think they're just thinking about themselves. You know, what's in it for me, rather than how is it I can help somebody else. And particularly today, when there's a lot of people in this survival mode, and it's about me, and you know, and making sure I stay safe, rather than how can I actually get out there and help other people, and serve other people. And that for me is a big thing. And particularly when you see it with human behavior. And I think it comes from just the education and understanding of it.
Excellent. So we are listening to Jimmi Bradbury, executive coach out of Brisbane, Australia. He's the founder of Young Entrepreneurs Academy. You can find him at Jimmi Bradbury, BRADBURY.com. I highly encourage you to go to his website, scroll down. I went on it with my phone and just scrolled and saw a lot of the stuff that you're doing. I highly encourage all of our listeners to do that and see where this guy's coming from. It's got really good stuff. So Jimmy, I'm going to shift gears a little bit here, and let's. One of the things I noticed as I watched some of your stuff, you seem to, you say the word "join the dots." You say that a lot. You say, joining the dots is key to success and happiness in life. What do you mean by joining the dots? What is that all about?
Well, for me, if I look back on my life, I spent 25 years in the corporate world. And I then spent 5 years in businesses I owned. And before I came into what I believe I'm here on this earth for, which is helping other people through my online work. And if I look back and I join up all of those dots, I can see where I actually got to today. And sometimes we have to look back in order to be able to look forward and help other people. Because with that experience in joining all of the dots, you can actually give so much value. If you kind of get out of that mindset of, well, what's in it for me? How can I take that 25 and 30 years of experience and now be able to put it together? And now we've got the benefit of technology in an online program that I can actually share with the world. And that's the thing that everybody can do. This bit that we talk about, the genius inside of us, everybody has got it. Everybody has got this, what I call hidden treasure, and everybody can look back at the dots that got them to this point. Whatever age, whatever experience, whatever thing you enjoy. And then if you can take that out and take those dots that got you to here and be able to package it in a way that you can help other people, oh my goodness, you can impact so many people, like thousands and millions of people now. You can do that. And everybody has got it. And we kind of think to ourselves, so many people say to me, well, Jimmy, I don't have that experience. Well, everybody does. If it's something that you're interested in doing, whether it's playing music, whether it's swimming, whether it's starting a podcast, whatever, the things that you've got that are different that you can share and help with other people are your perspective and your own experience. Nobody has got those dots that got you to here. Nobody. And that's what makes you unique. If you can take those dots and then put them in a place, in something that you can then share with the world, you can make huge impact.
I think it's really powerful to talk about that. Look at your past, go into the past and start to connect the dots of all of the life experiences that you've had. I've heard a lot of people say that they're challenged in doing that sometimes because when they go to the past, they see so much negative stuff that happened in their life. It kind of overpowers their thought process. I guess my question is how important is it to connect the negative dots just as much as connecting the positive dots to find your genius? I mean, to me, the way I answer that question to people is, look, at your negative experiences define you as much as your positive ones do, and I go into reasons why. What's your thoughts on that?
I suppose it depends on what you define as negative, but if there were things that didn't go well for you, whether in your personal life or in your business life, and I can speak about this myself, my biggest failures, if we consider those to be the negative things, were the biggest lessons I learned, both in my personal life and also in my business life. And I think that's the power. If you can be vulnerable enough to be able to take those and want to share those lessons that you learned from those incidences, personal or business, I think that's really powerful, because what you're saying is you don't want this other human being to go through those same things that you went through. And in order to do that, here's the lessons I learned that I want to pass on to you so that you don't go through that same pain and hurt that I went through. And that's the most powerful thing that we can do in terms of our fellow human beings, is to pass that knowledge on to people, not hold it inside ourselves because we feel we're the victim of a business that went wrong or a relationship that went wrong, which a lot of people unfortunately do.
Well, I think it's so important for our listeners to hear someone of your caliber to share that, and as you read books, as you read positive books and join positive online courses and whatever, you learn that. You learn that people are coming from their failures, and that nobody, it's just a fact of life. Nobody experiences massive success in life without going through failure. It just doesn't happen. It's just part of the process. Mm-hmm. And I think it's powerful to hear someone of your caliber remind us of that, just remind us. And so embrace your failures, listen, I do stuff all the time. This is what's interesting. People look at guys like you and me today and think, oh yeah, they've been there, they've done that, whatever they do touches, turns to gold, they're successful at everything. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not successful at everything. I try lots of stuff today that doesn't work. Like to the point of, I swear that was going to work, but it didn't work. And it didn't work out. You have to refine it. You have to fine tune it. You have to go back and forth. And there are days today, a lot of people look at me and again at you, like we've already arrived. We've had this success, but the reality is today I experience failure as much as I did in the beginning of my career. I'm trying new things all the time. And I succeed at some and I fail at some. And there are days when that I question my worth. There are days, today, that I question, like, have I lost it? Like, can I still do this? What's the matter with me? I mean, I go through that. Do you experience that today? Do you go through that today?
Yeah, all of the time. Because life is about learning. We're constantly learning, we're constantly creating, we're constantly testing, and it's about evolving. And that's the beautiful thing about life. Like, I think life would be quite boring if everything just worked all of the time.
That's true. It's very true. It's funny. We're big snowmobilers here in Utah and the United States. I don't think we have snow over there where you're at. You're in Brisbane.
Yes, but I was out in Utah last year in September, and the day that I was leaving, we had a big snowfall.
Oh yeah, so you've seen that. We have the mountains here, and we go back in the backcountry on these snow machines. And the reason I bring that up is it's a metaphor that kind of ties in what you're talking about. Look, if I just had a lake to go across, back and forth, straight line, it would get boring really fast. Yeah. We get up into where we got to go around obstacles and we got to climb up different places and we got to move around. And sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes you fall off a drop off, or there's obstacles that you have to maneuver around. And sometimes it's a royal pain. Like sometimes you get ticked off because you get stuck or whatever. But in those challenges and obstacles is where the joy is. That's where the joyous riding is. So I think about it all the time when I'm on a snow machine in the back country. But so let's shift a little bit. I want to talk about this online course stuff. We're doing more and more in the online world as everybody should be. And of course, we're living in a day and age right now with pandemics and things going on that, we have to be online and we have to do pretty much everything online right now. And we're really trying to master the whole online teaching aspect. And we're coming out with new products and new things that teach more in an online world. And of course, this is your forte. This is what you do. Is there an online course in everybody? Should everybody do an online course of some kind? I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
I think everybody's got a story and a message. Everybody's got experiences, those dots we talked about. Today, the big shift is that instead of just being able to share that with our families and our community and the local neighborhood, we can share it now with the world. And we can do it pretty much instantaneously, and we can do it for, frankly, little or no money. Like in my 25 years of living and working around the world, in America, in the Middle East, in Asia, in Europe, in Australia, in the corporate world, like a lot of what I was doing was actually starting up businesses for the company in various locations. And there was always a huge risk element to it because you needed capital to do it, and you needed to be able to take out lease, and you needed to hire staff. Now we can actually take that story and message that we got and we can share it with the world. And for next to no capital, we can impact millions of people and be able to monetize it as well, which, you know, for us is important to keep that message going. You need to have the money to keep the message going. But for me in particular, the money for me is important because I give it back to setting up children's charities around the world, because I saw these kids on $1 a day. And the ability to be able to do that is there for everybody, but not necessarily everybody will want to do it because, you know, as somebody once said to me, if opportunity knocks on your door, don't be surprised if work answers. There's a lot of hard work in it. And 95% of the work is in your mind. And that for me was the single biggest thing coming out of the corporate world that I feel I was able to accomplish, which was that mindset shift, that it's not about me, it's about the people now I can help.
People that you serve. So, yeah, so walk me through this a little bit. So if, let's say I want to come on and take one of your courses. Let's say, so you have the Young Entrepreneurs Academy course, is that correct?
It is, correct.
And do you have any other courses that you're pushing right now?
At the moment, I do two things. One is my mission in life is, now that the Young Entrepreneurs Academy is up and running and there's 700 kids in it in 9 months, I have not a single doubt in my mind, and this is not to brag, it's just to demonstrate what we can do. Not a single doubt in my mind that 1 million children will go through that academy. Not a single doubt in my mind. But you have to believe in that. You have to believe in it. So that really for me is my mission in life, to make sure that happens. God willing that I'm alive for another 10 years, that I'm able to do that. And then the other is really to coach people in how it is they can take their knowledge and experience, whatever that might be, and be able to position themselves as the person who's got that particular expertise, experience, and perspective, being able to help them package it in a way that they can then put it online in a digital format, whether it's an online course, a membership program, a live event, a mastermind, whatever it might be, and then be able to promote it to the world. Those are kind of the areas.
You coach people through that process.
Yes.
So you coach people how to create content for a course, maybe how to script out their course, how to get it in a digital format. Any particular online platform that you use? I mean, what platforms do you use to build the courses on?
So all of my work, all of it is just on one platform called Kajabi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're familiar with Kajabi, and there's several, for our listeners, there's several platforms that have been built by smart people and they've got the things in place, but you still have to know kind of how to build a course to put on. In your case, you use Kajabi. There's other platforms out there, but you help people get that course created. Do you actually help people with the filming and the editing and stuff like that as well, or?
Yeah, that's kind of, it's a 12-week program that I take people through to get online. So I guarantee that if they follow my coaching and my process, they will be online and they will be making money before they get online. That's guaranteed. Can't guarantee how much money, but they will be making money before they get online and impacting people. But writing the content and filming and all that is kind of the process part. The upfront part, which is the really important part, which is the strategies, is first of all, making sure you as a person are committed to doing this. Because as I said to you earlier, Cody, there's work involved. Most of it's in your mind. And that kind of what if nobody buys my course? What if I don't have anything to share with anybody? What if everybody that thinks I get on a podcast or a live think I'm nuts. You know, all these what ifs, because they're limiting beliefs and doubts and insecurities that we all as human beings have. So helping people get through those fears up front is so, so important. Helping them find who their target audience is. Like with the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, I spent so much time thinking my target audience was the schools, but it's not the schools. It's a combination of the children, the young kids, but the parents, because they're the ones that have got the problem. They're the ones who've got the fear around the future of their children. So that took me time to actually zone in on who it is I'm actually talking to. So helping people do that. And I still haven't written any content yet.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't done any filming yet.
Right.
And then being able to build the platforms that I can get to these, to the mother or father in Johannesburg, the mother or father in New York, the mother and father in Sydney. So I need to build a platform to do that. Still haven't built any content yet. So that's my website. And then starting to build what I believe in the online space is your number one asset, but is just not used by people as it should be, which is your email list. And still haven't built any content yet. And then using your social media to be able to create that tribe and that interest and an interaction. So that's kind of the first half of it, doing all that. And then the second half is getting into writing the content, putting together the course, creating the course, marketing the course, selling the course, and then launching it. And that includes all the videoing and so on.
Now you say you do that in a 12-week course.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is an online course that you offer. There's that 12-week course.
Correct. Yeah.
And what's that called?
Well, it's and that's you know, when I say online, that's actually me coaching people.
So that's your personal coaching.
Yeah, personal.
Gotcha.
To individuals and to groups. So that's my 12 steps to time and financial freedom, because the time and financial freedom bit is, you know, when I was in the corporate world, I experienced what so many people experience, which is we trade our valuable time for the hard-earned dollar. And we're always wanting to get more because then we can have more time off. But the reality of it is now, doing that traditional trading your time for money, it's not possible. But when you leverage off of technology and then be able to build these online courses, then like as I had this morning, you wake up and you see these emails that have come in from people who subscribe to your course when you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And you've leveraged off technology to earn that multiple streams of income, passive income, reoccurring income, residual income. And that's the beautiful thing then. And that's that time and financial freedom that you can then get.
So, wow, really good stuff. I mean, I'm a huge student right now of the whole online course industry. We're working on some fun things right now that we'll be introducing in the near future. And we realize the importance of putting everything we possibly can online. And in light of the pandemic worldwide right now that's going on, we've already announced virtual meetings for the rest of this year. We actually only have one live meeting planned this year, when we typically always have live meetings all over the world. We'll have regional events. We'll have our national event, international event, which was scheduled in Dallas, Texas this year in September. We just announced that we are moving that 100% to a virtual event. It's a 4-day event that we're making virtual. So let me tell you, we're in a crash course to really learn the online world and how to do this kind of stuff. In fact, we might have to talk offline a little bit to get some of your expertise to help us in some of those areas. But we're doing some exciting things. What I want to talk about is in the world today, and you know, listen, things are going to happen. We're learning this right now. There's things that are going to happen in our world that we don't have much control over. Current pandemic that's going on, we don't really have much control over that. It's happening, and we have to adjust however we have to adjust. Now, of course, the online technology is the saving grace really right now for businesses and whatnot to survive. In terms of education, I mean, I got to believe that you see this as a huge opportunity for what you do, because it's going to put people in a different mindset as to how they should hone in on new skills, how they should be educated. You know, this online course thing really probably is a pretty good idea. I probably ought to find the skill sets I'm looking for and go buy an online course and take the online course. It's a fast growing industry, isn't it? I mean, the whole online course industry is just evolving like crazy right now. So it's got to be a big opportunity for what you do, right? I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that want to get into that space, especially right now. I got to get into the space because it's the only way I can get my content out there. I know speakers right now that have lost all their speaking gigs for the whole year. Their entire source of income, and some of them make big money, and it's gone. Like overnight, boom, all their things are canceled. So their speaker fees aren't coming in, and they're going crazy to try to figure out how to get content back out there. I mean, are some of those people coming your way, or what's happening there?
Yeah, I think we're going through interesting times. There was a study done, I think last year, where it said this industry called the knowledge commerce, or call it the wisdom or the knowledge industry, is $270 million a day industry. And Forbes have predicted, probably now quicker than what they did predict, it was going towards $1 billion a day. And we have this opportunity now. You're right, Cody. We're going through a time where a lot of what is happening is outside our control, and never have so many people relied on so few people to get us through this. And we have to allow them, the doctors and the nurses and everybody that's helping us get through this. But we have this opportunity, and we have a choice. We can either sit back and watch lots of Netflix reruns for the last, whatever, or we can use it as an opportunity to learn a new skill. Because I believe when we come out of this, and we'll come out of this, and we'll come out of it stronger. Yep. We will see a complete shift in the world, and the world will be a much more virtual, interconnected world where we will be doing a lot of business more online. And I think those people that learn those skills now, as opposed to watching Netflix and consuming media over which they've got no control over, and learn new skills, are the ones who are going to benefit from it when we come out the other side, because it'll just take them off.
Pretty exciting, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. With every difficult situation we come through, we have an opportunity, but people need to start learning it like today. And that's the opportunity we have, though. That ability to do that is right there now. We shouldn't be waiting around watching Netflix. We should be getting on and seeing where everything is going, and that's where it's going.
So one of the things that I've always taught in my personal development coaching that I do is that part of everybody's personal development plan should include, obviously, the learning side of it, but also the teaching side of it. So go through a learning process and learn something positive. But to make it complete, you take it up to the other side, where whatever it is that you learned, you now turn around and you teach it to others. And if you could do that, like if you, let's just say something simple like goal setting. Okay, I'm going to learn some techniques for goal setting. What's going to make, this is my philosophy, what's going to make me really master goal setting is to not only learn the techniques and tactics and fundamentals of good goal setting, and then do them, and then make them a habit. But in addition to doing that, is once I've done that, I turn into a mentor or a teacher and teach somebody else what I've learned. And that's what I think is so exciting about what you do, because isn't that kind of what you do? I mean, there's people that are going to take courses that you provide or that others you've coached provide, and then in their journey, they might find a course in themselves and turn around and teach courses to somebody else. So it's learning and teaching. And you provide both sides of that. So I think and again, kudos to you for that. Really appreciate it. So listen, we are listening to Jimmi Bradbury, executive coach from Brisbane, Australia. Find him at Jimmi, Jimmi, Bradbury, BRADBURY.com, from Brisbane, Australia, the founder of Young Entrepreneurs Academy. And you get to listen to this genius of a gentleman close out our show. This is how I like to close the show, Jimmi. I always like to close by giving you the floor. You know, you've been subject to all my weird questions here over the last 40 minutes or so. No more questions. It's just open mic for you now. Just share with us, especially right now. I'd like you to kind of take your message to what we're experiencing in the world right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of nervousness. There's even downright panic with some people. What's your advice to the world right now on how to get through this, how to come out better, and how to take your genius and bless the world with it?
Yeah. Wow. It's a big topic. I think it begins with yourself, you know, your own mindset, your own feeling about yourself. I think when you start with yourself and get yourself right, and a lot of that comes from personal development, which you teach, I think we are going through a unique time in history. Like history, I believe, has been written. When my daughter and her children look back on this, there will be a defining moment in history. But coming with it is an opportunity. And that opportunity is for us to be able to think, how can we help other people? And do it in a big way. Like, I think some of the times today, we all face this problem, including myself, although I'm getting better at it now, is we think too small. We think way, way too small. And it was only when I came out and I said, you know, I believe I can get to 1 million people with the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, 2 sets of people come out. Yeah, the ones that kind of think, oh, you know, here he goes again. And they try and pull you down. But the people in the main that came out were the ones, hey, I can open this door for you. I can get you into here. I can get you into here. I can help you do this because this is a great thing to be doing. But you need to get out there and voice it. You need to have that vision of what it is you want to do and think big. We have that opportunity now really to be able to think big and then implement it with technology and online, which we've talked about. I think the second thing is we need to live every day with intention. Be grateful that we are alive in the greatest time ever to be alive. Like when I think back of my father and my father's father and what they went through in the Second World War and the First World War, oh my God, we have it so easy today. So be grateful for what we got, but live with intention. Live that, you know, every day you know what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and make it your best day ever, because there's no guarantees you're going to be around in 6 months' time. So live with intention, and then just as you've talked about early, Cody, is create really good habits around your life. You know, do good for people. Surround yourself with good people. Take negativity and toxic people and toxic situations out of your life. You have that choice to do it. And I think if you bring those 3 things together, the vision, the intention, and the habits, you can have a fantastic, fantastic future. And now, if you put it online, oh my gosh, it'll just open up for you. The world will open up for you.
Wow. Well, there you have it, everybody. Jimmi Bradbury from Brisbane, Australia. Those of you who might be watching this on our YouTube channel can see that in the background, it's getting lighter there now. I've noticed that the sun seems to be coming up more. It seems lighter in the background there.
Yeah, it is. Although it's raining today, but the sun is coming up. You're right, Cody.
Well, listen, we really appreciate the time you've spent with us today. And listen, I just can't say enough good about what you're doing out there, and appreciate you so much. In fact, I'm going to contact you offline for some possible projects you might be able to help us with. And just really appreciate all that you're doing. So God bless you.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Cody. And again, I just want to acknowledge the great work that you've done. Phenomenal. I've followed you for many, many years. And for me, it's an honor to be able to get this opportunity to talk to you today. So I just want to give you a big shout out for all the great work you've done. Inspirational.
You're very kind. You're very kind. I appreciate that very much. So there you have it, everybody. Look forward to seeing you again. Just keep tuning in because we're going to keep bringing it on. So appreciate all that you do. Let's go out and be kind to people. Let's create relationship, and let's take that genius in us and give it away to the world. Find out who you are. Give yourself away. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
If you have enjoyed this episode of the Relationship Marketing Podcast with Cody B, be sure to subscribe to the show and leave a review so that together we can get this message, The Power of Human Connection, out to the world. You can find Cody's new book, The Power of Human Connection, on Amazon or the Send Out Cards gift store.